Rivers of Nihil is a progressive metal band. They just released a new album called The Work. The band is currently signed to Metal Blade Records, and the band is Jake Dieffenbach on vocals, Brody Uttley on lead guitar and keyboards, Adam Biggs on bass, and Jon Topore on rhythm guitar, and Jared Klein on drums. So The Works is their fourth studio album, and this is a very unique band. It's really hard to compare them to other bands. The last album was called Where Owls Know My Name. It was released in 2018. The album was very popular with critics and fans, and I do remember listening to this album back then because they had like this death metal song that kind of incorporated like saxophone into the mix, and I thought that was very cool. They did it in a way that like made it seem like it belonged there. So on this album, they bring the saxophone back, but it's kind of a little more like downplayed this time. The album is very hard to describe. I guess it's very relaxing, but it's still death metal. They have like a very laid back style, but at the same time, they don't lose that like death metal edge. There are both harsh vocals and clean singing. There are some heavy crunchy guitars. There's atmospheric breakdowns. One song has acoustic strumming. There's keyboards. There's a lot going on here. The name of the album is called The Work. There are 11 songs, runtime of 1 hour, 4 minutes. So let's talk about it. The album starts off with the Tower theme from The Work. It has a slow piano-based intro with clean singing. You do hear a little saxophone lower in the mix. The tone of the song is very haunting, as would like the rest of the album. The death metal aspect does come in close to like the 3-minute mark, and it does include like heavy guitars and aggressive vocals, and it kind of like overplayed or layered onto like the clean singing. The song gets mellow again before ending with its like slow atmospheric outro. Dreaming Back Clockwork is a heavier song, something you would expect from like a progressive metal band. Has heavy riffs, aggressive vocals. The song also has like a slight industrial metal feel, like the down-tuned guitars create some really heavy riffs. Also some electronic sounds in the mix. Has a really heavy intro, but the song does get mellow again with like an atmospheric breakdown and clean singing. The heavy guitars and blast beats kind of like creep back into the mix, when you least expect it. The song ends with like some crazy, it almost sounds like a monster attacking a city. I don't know any other way to describe it, but so lots of like, these really harsh sounds towards the end of the song. The next song is called Wait. They bring back the softer sounds in the song. The intro to the song is really laid back with clean singing and a soft drum beat. There are some distorted guitars and aggressive vocals, but it is mixed in a way not to lose that relaxing tone of the song, and the song is actually kind of catchy. Now the song ends with some feedback. It goes into the next song called Focus. This one has like a 90s industrial feel. It reminded me a little bit of like 9 Inch Nails in the intro. But that comparison ends quickly. They go straight forward to death metal with like layers of clean and aggressive vocals. The second part of the song is filled with aggressive vocals, heavy riffs, and melodic lead guitar melodies. The next song is called Clean. This was released as a single before the album came out. This one has some heavy guitar riffs and aggressive vocals, and it has like a slow pace, kind of almost feels like doom metal, but they use a lot of keyboards and vocal layers, and they do keep the sound very original. The song does have some time signature changes. It kind of makes it very like unpredictable. And there are also some futuristic keyboard melodies and harsh vocals buried in the mix. Next is The Void from Which No Sound Escapes. The song is very atmospheric, lots of different sound textures in the mix. There's clean singing, harsh vocals, like a whisper style vocal in the mix. The song gets very fast and heavy, and at one point it kind of gives us like straightforward death metal. They do mix in some keyboards, making this very unique. The song also has a saxophone solo, does work very well with like the overall tone of the song. Next is a song called More, and the song has a very fast and heavy intro mixed with some like lighter parts and some futuristic keyboard sounds. This is one of the shorter songs at 3 minutes 26 seconds and also one of the heaviest. Next is Tower 2, and this one kind of gives the listener a break after like such a really heavy song. This one's very laid back and mellow, has some clean singing and a little bit of melody. It doesn't stray from the overall tone of the album, and it's just a 2-minute song. The next song is called Episode, and this one kind of moves at a medium pace. Has a nice blend of the clean and heavy vocals and guitars. The song uses lots of vocal layers and drumming, and a very good song. After about 5 minutes, the song gets very quiet, has some like piano, but they do have some heavy parts that kind of followed by like a quiet saxophone outro, making this kind of like a roller coaster of a song. Next is Maybe One Day. This one brings in some acoustic strumming and some clean singing. This one has a nice drum beat, lots of vocal layers. It might seem out of place, but it does keep with the tone of the album. The last song is called Terrestria IV. It's a very epic album closer at 11 minutes and 30 seconds. The song almost sounds like a movie score with a very slow and haunting intro. They do have some saxophone in the intro again. It has some slow and heavy riffs played on some like down-tuned guitars and aggressive vocals. So it's really like thick, crunchy riffs. After about like 3.5 minutes, the song speeds up. Some like thrash metal sounding riffs and some like haunting like choir vocals. There are lots of type signature changes, and this one goes into a straightforward death metal later on. And then it is contrasted with some lighter atmospheric parts with like some really like deep vocals. So there is a lot of like variety going on here. In conclusion, probably one of the most original albums I have reviewed this year. I've reviewed a few experimental death metal albums like Between the Buried and Me and At the Gates, and they were very unique and experimental in their own way. But this album does it in a way that they're able to maintain a very like cohesive tone throughout the album. It's a really great headphone album. There's a lot going on, and you have to like pay attention to the fine details. It's not like a catchy, easy listening album, even though it does have like a very like chill tone to it. The album is very original. My score is a 9 out of 10. If you like progressive metal or death metal, I think you will like this album. So that is it. Coming up next, I'll probably be able to do one more new release with the new album by Tremonti. I'll do that one tomorrow morning. Other than that, thanks for watching. My name is John. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. Please like, comment, subscribe. Check out my other videos. I'll put a few other metal ones over here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.